A few weeks back, two friends applied for the same office job. They had similar qualifications, the same level of education, and both were eager to succeed. During the interview, the manager smiled and said, "Please open Microsoft Excel and prepare a simple report from this data." One candidate did everything well and got the job. The difference wasn't about intelligence and experience, but understanding Microsoft Excel. Hi everyone, I am Josh. Welcome to this Excel tutorial where I explore the basic fundamentals of Excel, and I'm very sure by the end of this video you'll have a deep understanding knowledge about the program. Let's dive in. Now I am in Microsoft Excel, and few things to look at. If you are wondering what could be the difference between Microsoft Excel and then other programs, you have to look at these three. One is data organization, and then two is data analysis. Number three is working with advanced calculations. So actually these three make up Microsoft Excel. So if you intend to compare Excel to other programs, you have to look at these three. And if one program can't handle these three, it means you have to work within Microsoft Excel. Now, starting with the basic terms, the first term here is a cell. What a cell is in Excel, if you dive in and try to click anywhere here, this block box that appears is what we are referring to as a cell. And by definition, a cell is simply the intersection of a column. The letters up here represent columns, and then the numbers represent rows. So if we say intersection of a column and a row, this is what we actually trying to mean. This cell here is termed as L7. We look at the column letter and then we combine with the row number, and there we go. So we have L7. If you also click here, you notice this is H5. So that's what a cell simply means. The second term here is what we call range. If we make a selection just within our Excel sheet here, so all these cells, when you collect them, we refer to it as range. A range is simply a collection of cells. Let's continue. We have another basic term which we are calling worksheet. Now, all of this stuff where we are working from is what we are terming as worksheet. You simply see a grid of columns and rows, and just down here you see the different worksheets. The plus symbol simply means adding another worksheet. So you can add as many worksheets as you want. And by the way, you can also give names in case you want to. You can give a name, simply right click on the worksheet, then you got the word name. You can also give a name by simply double clicking. So once you double click, you'll be able to type the name of the worksheet. I call this data 1. And there we go. So you have given names to these worksheets. So you can give names. You can also change some other stuff here. Look at, you can delete a sheet, you can rename, you can also move a copy, you can change the tab color of the sheet. The next term is what we refer to as workbook. By definition, a workbook collects all these worksheets. So once you save your work as Excel Notes Practical, it's actually a workbook, and it's gonna collect all these worksheets down here. Next term is functions. In Excel, formulas that we use here are all termed as functions, and the best way you can access them, just simply go up here, then click on FX. So once you tap FX, you're gonna see several functions here. And by the way, you can also make a search of the formula that you don't see. So once you type in the name and click go, the function is going to appear. And if it doesn't appear, it means it wasn't included in the program. These are some of the basic terms that are commonly used in Excel. There are other terms, but for now, let's switch on to other things. Let's see how to add data in Excel. If you want to add data in Excel, simply click in any cell where you want the data to be, and then type in anything that you want. Okay, so we're done entering in our data, and first thing to look at is what we call the name box. The name box is simply the name of the cell, and it is seen up here. Actually, if you hover over, you see the word name box. And also the other thing to see is the formula bar. The formula bar displays the text of the cell. So if you tap in, you also notice the same word up there. And you cannot, by the way, make adjustments just from up here. Probably if I wanted to space this word, just do it from up there. Let's continue. We are now looking at these columns and their titles in line. And notice we see these column words, others don't fit. To make sure columns fit or the words fit in columns, we can adjust manually just like this. Okay, you have to go in between column letters and then do it manually just like that. You can also, by the way, just double click in between the column letters and you have the word adjusted. Now, if you adjust, I see at one point too much gap left for me and it doesn't really work out for me. What I'm going to do is try to bring this back. I'm going to click just in this cell, then there's one term called wrap text here. What this means, you're going to break your words, and then we have the word broken just like they were saying. I'll make a slight adjustment just from up, something like that. Also got this and make slight adjustment, then wrap text. Slight expand this at that level, do the same work here. And there we go. Now we have something of this sort here. So this is called wrap text, and some gap left up here. I can do this from the low section, just like that. Let's see how to perform calculation in Microsoft Excel. If you want to perform calculation is, for example, here we need to get the total of the expected performance. We are going to hover over to the formula bar and just close, we see insert function. So we tap in FX and then we're going to use a function called sum. So click OK and then bring to this here. So what we do here is that it's trying to show us the cells that it's gonna sum up. And if you don't trust this, you can simply highlight the cells that you want and then click OK. And that is it. Now we have the total. Also perform the same story simply by copying the answer here to this next cell. And we have that. Now we need to get the real performance. We are going to subtract these two. You can also come up with your own formula within Excel. So to do that, you start by typing an equal sign and then tap in the value that you want. I'm going to say 67, then minus 34, and we have 33. So just going to go down here in the fill option and just simply double click and I have answers for your performance. Same story down here. I'm going to copy this format to the other cell, and now I have my answers. I can try to beautify this. So format, just simply highlight all these values and try to make them bold. And click here, add what you call a thick bottom border. Thick bottom border. Thick bottom border. So do the same work here. I can also but I'll just highlight them once and add the thick bottom border throughout. If you wanted to highlight all sections where calculations were performed once and probably give a fill color, we're going to highlight all the data within our sheet and then we go just find and select here. So once we are here, we're going to use a feature called the got special, and then what we need is to highlight all the values here that were calculated. So we're going to hit these formulas and then we uncheck all this stuff that we don't need. I think I just want to look at numbers, so I only leave numbers here, then uncheck these other options, then tap OK. Once I tap OK, it's going to highlight only the values, and there we go. Now we can give a fill color, probably yellow. And this is the go to special function from go to special feature from find and select. But if we need to add 2 on each of these values within the real performance column, what we're going to do is put our 2 aside, probably here, and we're going to highlight these 2. The copy, so we're going to highlight now all these values where the 2 is going to be added. Now we right click on this column, and then we have a feature called paste special here. So once we tap in paste special, it's gonna bring for us this, and what we need is to add. So click on add, say okay. It's going to add the tools throughout this column, and that is it, guys. Thank you for watching the first video. I see you in the next video, guys.